This is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the car. Coming with the flow. Straight from the barrio. And coming with the heat to the motherfucking street. You know what I'm saying? We coming with the facts. To crack them backs. We coming straight out the barrio. With that motherfucking flow. And that's how we do. This is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the edition. This is how we do. You know what I'm saying? Now today we watching patterns in our lecture today. And one of the things we're watching is the pattern of words that people might say based in this whole situation as we go along. You know what I'm saying? As we go along. But we're going to make sure that we understand what it is these patterns might have in code sync or meaning. You know what I'm saying? We don't need Tom, Dick, and Harry to tell us anything at all, because most of them have spent most of their lives, you know what I'm saying, in the effort to keep the status quo in their groove based on looking out for themselves and giving them what they want to defeat ourselves. You see what I'm saying? But my name is Point Black, and I don't motherfucking play that. Sorry to say it that way, but that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're talking shit like, you know what I'm saying, anti-Semitism, you know, to me is on the rise. Now, I have to look at this because when you speak of the truth, that's what they call us when we speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? Very much an anti-Semite. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Yosef Ben Yaakov spoke of this. You know what I'm saying? But that's like saying to a black person that what took place in the historical view or the historical understanding of the reality of what these people have done to my people and still doing in bunch and group and race. You know what I'm saying? That when you call us an anti-Semitic, that's like me saying what you saying that your people did, I must excuse them for it, and your other ancestors and your children after you. And years to come where it's in my time and my place. I must say that, okay, I'm not going to speak about that because, you know, I feel so ashamed to talk about it. You know, that's like trying to tell a black person to do that. Like it never happened. And still happening. You know what I mean? And still happening. No. But see, the tables have turned. The tables have come around. Now we see. You know what I'm saying? But now, if you are helping solving the systematic racism, all should be on an equal balance based on every single thing, economically speaking, as well. You know what I'm saying? No race or no group in America should be at the bottom of the totem pole. Let's get that clear. And selling them dreams while you give them nothing at all, but you make them feel like they got something. And we know how that go and who's involved in that method. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get on their head later. But right now, everything should be on an equal balance. Fairness for all without systematic racism at all. For someone who say they are solving the racist systematic problem, at that Biden is doing completely the opposite, but in a psychological way. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to the farmers in the South, I think there was a dispute going on that I was looking at, you know what I'm saying, about the relief fund. If the relief fund is given, then it must be equally distributed. You see? So how did it flip? That situation that went on down there where the judge seized the funds, how did it flip? To a suitcase that was brought before the court is the question. You know what I'm saying? I have on this one, the judge, you know what I'm saying, have now suspended the funding of the release funding. White farmers are suing about the debt relief for black farmers, saying the conservative law firm for white farmers are suing Biden. His name came up. Creepy Joe. Now, if you give something to the farmers for relief fund, there's no way the white farmers should have had to sue for any goddamn thing in the first place. You know what I'm saying? The white farmers should have gotten, the black farmers should have gotten what's coming to them based on the relief that they need in fullness and not half-ass. And the white farmers should have got what they got as regular white people in America doing their thing. So what this dispute was, I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? A temporary restraining order has come to play. Judge William, I think his name is Geisberg or something, Batch or whatever. I don't want to mess up his name. Sits on the bench on this matter. Is what we see. Is what we see. Where Biden should have helped, but where he should have put in more help, all but the way it looks, it still come out to be confusing. You know what I'm saying? This is not getting relief to the black farmers, and it's damn sure not getting relief to the white farmers, and it should be distributed equally and not holding it up. But this is the game that is being played. Very confusing as to why all was not included is the question. Is the question. You know what I'm saying? What we see when the relief funding is given because of the systematic racism, every other race gets, while the black people get none or very little. Very little. And that is another thing that happens. Even though there might be a relief fund for black people, sometimes the fund is not the same that they give to the whites. Systematic racism. You know what I mean? So we see a lot of this been going on for a long time. And sometimes the black farmers who might be seeking that relief, if they're not up on it, no one informs them. They might don't even know what this is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They might not even know that the funding, is there at all. So we got to look at this more closely as it progresses or have been settled. Because remember, this is the late edition. You know what I mean? Now we see Garland sparks anger. I think his name is Garland. Sparks anger with the willingness, you know what I'm saying, to side with Trump. You know what I mean? And the sparks anger over the people are siding with Trump. You know, it even has Trump's critics and the Biden administration, most supporters in their in the 3 months of office, as the DOJ said, it's shown an increasing willingness, you know what I'm saying, to side in court with Donald J. Trump administration. You know what I'm saying? Saying news, saying in the news, you know what I mean, saying in the news, saying the news that they hope it will show and provide more transparency, you know what I'm saying, and the accountability as to what power by the department and the DOJ during the Trump administration. Saying how it went back and forth, it just sounded a little confusing, but saying how they were siding with Trump and Trump them had a little power over them and all of that. So Jeff was quick to say, you know what I'm saying, he was quick to say, Mr. Founder and executive director, saying that Garland should not be so willing to side on on the administration. You know what I'm saying? That so many believe damaged the department as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And the confidence of the public. You know, I had in it, you know what I'm saying, that the public may have had in the DOJ. Same thing I said, and it came around anyway. See? All that confuses is just stupidness, rhetoric. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense that y'all should be arguing over nothing like that, and the people don't need to hear that you're wasting the people's time. You know what I'm saying? The DOJ needs to get back to doing what they're doing and do it correctly and stop the corrupted garbage. You know what I'm saying? Same thing on the Trump side. Trump should be handling business, getting themselves ready for 2024. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? That I had in the DOJ. You know what I'm saying? I don't want truth because what we're hearing, what we're hearing is a throw of misunderstanding based on a lot of things to do with our government. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? But from what we hear, you know what I'm saying, as the throw of children out of reach. You know what I'm saying? Even in the pandemic that went by, it still damaged the thing. But what I'm hearing on this story, it has really bothered me in many ways. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what the truth is or the cause, but I hear this lady threw her children out the window. You know what I'm saying? This is why we must start reaching out in our community, especially to mothers, young mothers at that may be going through a whole lot of stress. Sometimes they don't know how to reach out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't know how to reach out, But we must look in on these young mothers especially, because it's beginning to be a little pattern, that especially the ones that are left alone, in an apartment complex somewhere in nowhere land, who needs help. You know what I'm saying? Where's the father? Where, and what and where's the father, and where's and what kind of support? You know what I'm saying? Any kind of support would be helpful if the father's not there, because the goddess was crying for help. You know what I'm saying? Who heard the cries? No one really did, and the children paid the price. This must stop in our community. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times girls get involved with certain dudes. And we know there's a lot of mental illness in our neighborhood. And sometimes they get involved with dudes, and the dude might have a girl, or the dude might be married, or whatever the case may be, or he might went to jail, or whatever. and it leaves the mother alone struggling. That's a very big strain that can lean on that mother's mind and even stress her out to the point where she can't even really do anything, and it's a struggle in all directions. Not even prepared for that type of life. You know what I'm saying? We've got to stand up. You know what I'm saying? When we hear this, the choice we make. You know what I'm saying? The choice we make must come to full. And we must seek. And we must seek. But never find. This is the type of life that somebody ends up in. They seek, but they never find. And when they do, it is not what they expected. You know what I'm saying? It is not what they expected. You know what I'm saying? And with who? You know what I'm saying? We have seen. And with who? You know what I'm saying? This happens when this happens. We must heal our community and be aware of all these things. If the children are to survive. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes certain mental condition can make a mother strike out against the kids. That is even in the wild kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And especially when the person or beings go into a different type of mentality based on the pressure and the surrounding, or maybe even a temporary sickness that's overcome them at that time. You know what I'm saying? We have to look for these things if the children are to survive. You know what I'm saying? We must make them. That we made them, then we must take care of them. You know what I'm saying? And we must be there for them. And no matter what the consequences we may be, based on even that situation, what you can put in, you must put in. What you can be there to do, you must do. Even if you don't have any money, broke, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You must find the way. You know what I'm saying? And you must be there in their lives. You know what I'm saying? As you be there in their lives, things will grow. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts will come to you. But you're there guiding that child, saying what your mother did for you. No man proceeds his mother. You know what I'm saying? The great general, Sarah Sultan Seti, would say. You know what I'm saying? We must be there. You know what I'm saying? For them. This goes for fathers against all odds. You know what I'm saying? We must find the way. This is something that must happen in our community because we do not need our community to fall. Now at this time we have already sustained many blows. You know what I mean? So look out for the mothers out there, y'all. And mothers, be willing to accept certain help. And the certain help that come, if she was left with a tyrant to begin with, don't bring a tyrant to her. Or you're only damaging the goddess. You know what I'm saying? Let them flourish and give to us and call us unto them, that we live and we prosper and we breed. You know what I'm saying? Now we see Biden rallying the G7 nation to counter China's influence in the news, influence on who, and if so, who let them in, Mr. Biden. So Biden claims so concern over China's influence. Like China told the G summit, and it was kind of funny if you ask me. China said the G summit don't run the whole world. You know what I mean? But this is the argument that go on between countries. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. You know, the road initiative overseas lending and investment pushing, which has now spread across Africa and Latin America and somewhat into Europe. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody into Europe, why am I not surprised at all? That was a straightforward statement by the newscast. So now Biden is saying, something about it. All of a sudden, this is what we see. We see Biden is saying something about it now. Something he sees as something, but to me, blowing smoke. Because the nation is under, developed, underdeveloping nations, I'm saying, is underdeveloped. You know what I'm saying? These countries, he's talking about underdeveloped countries should have been developed years ago anyway. You know what I'm saying? It should have been developed years ago. So while they're fighting and there's all this work to be done between these two countries, all they seem to do between America and every other country is every time they have a discussion in any shape or form, we always have to hear military action. So we know somebody's angry. I don't know if it's due to revenge. I don't know if it's what they did to them. We don't know. But they constantly keep it going. You know what I'm saying? The nation should, the nations, you know, should for far too long has not been really developed. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the things that just seems very stupid to me. You know what I mean? But it goes to show how many nations are pulled into different things, and you're pulling the regular people as well with them. And regular people don't need all this back and forth. Even, when you say, I think that was on Beijing politics in America, you know what I mean, shows signs of falling down. You know what I mean? You know, they should even, I guess they were speaking about the January 6th riot, shows that according to Beijing and the report, now, you know what I'm saying, we hear the government of that is now saying that, but went on January 6th is the same thing everybody's saying. It's not showing a great, it's not showing a great example to the world as to what just went down. So a lot of the rhetoric and talk and wrapping up should be quieting down between the nations. You know what I'm saying? And start looking more into the people's business. You know what I'm saying? They act as if it's like it's their world and nobody else's is here but them. They could talk nuclear war and all kinds of should have blew up the whole wide world. And it don't seem very sane in many ways. Now we hear the government of Arizona is calling for the states to send the police to the border to deal with the crisis. You know what I'm saying? That's a damn shame. You know what I mean? It's a damn shame. So where's Kamala? Oh, I forgot. She blew the roof off the mother. You know what I'm saying? But Texas and Arizona is calling for help. You know what I'm saying? From their counterparts. You know. So where's Biden? Where's Biden? Oh, I forgot. He's at the G7 meeting. Mm-hmm. They say send law enforcement. You know what I mean? To stem the crisis at the southern border. You know what I mean? They should have had that done already. You had them sent to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, but you ain't sending them to secure the border. Something don't make sense. If you're going to protect the kingdom, you got to protect the kingdom's borders as well. You know what I'm saying? Send the border, at the southern border. Because they're saying that is now overwhelming, what I'm saying, officials and the border state and border states. You know what I'm saying? The official and border states. You know what I'm saying? So where again is Biden? Again? You know what I'm saying? Urgent request saying send all available defense, you know what I mean? Our border sovereignty and territorial integrity, you know what I'm saying, is being challenged, you know what I mean, on this ground. Now the question is, what is he going to do about it? Because, when you look at it, I think it's Governor Abbott and Ducey of Arizona, wrote in a letter, you know, and it doesn't make sense that they should have had to do that because anybody knows that you have to defend your borders. Why would you tell them to defend the borders and then tell them not to? It doesn't make sense. So it would make people feel in any kingdom that the king is crazy. And he just want our borders to be overrun. He want to keep the chaos down there while our minds is away from what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? That's his little run of the day. You know what I'm saying? But the reasons why is even deeper probably. You know what I mean? That we have to look at these things. People act as if like, you can just wash it away. You know what I'm saying? But they shouldn't have had to write no letter asking anyone to come help them to do anything. He should have been running the border as it's supposed to be run. So you see Ducey of Arizona, you know what I'm saying, wrote in a letter, you know what I'm saying, the government and border states who are dealing, you know what I'm saying, with a surge in immigrants to the border with more than 180,000 migrants, you know what I'm saying, but didn't Biden say they have 100 days to get to the border if they're running from coyotes and all of this stuff? You see how he threw the psychology of cartels and coyotes? If you want to escape that, so that's what they're hearing it. And then at the same time, it's used to ram them up and stroke their back so they could come on running on lead. You know what I'm saying? And this kind of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? You got 100 days to get to the border on the campaign trail. So the question was Biden going to meet them there? Oh no, of course not. But it seems this man is great. But it seems one thing he will do though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he will. You know what I'm saying? I hope he gonna meet them at the border. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? With no qualifications or limitationally, totally unconditionally. That's so bad. We're gonna meet him at the border, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Now we have an update. You know what I'm saying? We rocking the update. COVID on the COVID. You know what I'm saying? Socialists. You know what I'm saying? Speaking out on his little speech. You see, it seems like the other team is over there working. You know what I'm saying? He working hard, but they socialists. You know what I mean? So we gonna comment on that story and stop right here. So Ron, stay for you know what I'm saying? But we will be back in a minute with part 2. You know what I'm saying? So stay tight, stay right. Boy blacked out. One.